upper bracket. These two teams look pretty good, and here we are. Any thoughts about this series before we get too deep into the draft, boys?
VG should win this game because they came into the tournament as one of the favorites to win it all.
And they looked good.
And they looked good. And Fate speaks really good English.
He does speak really good English.
And he's also currently wearing the crown for his team.
So he's like the king?
He's the MVP, right? That's what that means.
Or it just means that RTK is using his computer to draft.
Oh.
The Dire get a ban.
That makes sense.
Or let's go with MVP. It sounds kind of cool.
Sure. Why is everybody first banning Titan? Is he that good?
Yeah.
He's so disruptive.
I like it.
He's really good at just breaking up the flow of the game, right?
You're not a big believer, but he's fantastic.
What about position 4 Mirana?
Didn't it have like a 70% win rate in the group stage or something like that?
Say we've barely seen it. It's just been banned every game. I don't even know.
It's funny how like these heroes go from being picked every game in the group stage to just banned in the in these games all the time.
Yeah.
People just don't want to play against them at all anymore. Shadow Demon, Ogre, E.T., Chen, Mirana.
Yeah.
All pretty normal, honestly.
Yeah.
Highly contested.
I expected
heroes.
ST to be like a tournament breakout pick. Counters so many carries, very good setup for a lot of heroes, has a save.
5 seconds remaining.
BKB pressing slow.
Yeah, does it all.
Yeah.
So.
TNC thinking about this one, though.
What are some like standout VG gaming heroes, Black? Like if you had to pick one that is iconic for them.
They love to
Actually, kind of the
play.
Tide Hunter that they just banned.
Yeah.
They really do like that hero.
I think the hero that they play the best for me personally is Lashrock, because they already plays a really good Lash, and they also play it on the safe lane. So
Radiant's turn to pick.
maybe things change though.
What about this one?
I mean, that hero is just so broken, we don't even need to talk about it.
But clearly they banned the Tide instead of Enchantress, knowing that this is going to be picked, right?
I mean, maybe they
must
didn't
have
know it.
Well, they must have something prepared.
Well, she's not without counters. Burst damage, Lion, Lena, Break.
I feel it's hard even to do the magical stuff against her now because she just buys like 2 bracers or a hood and then you don't do any damage.
What if you buy a Veil though?
Well, it still just is
5
slightly
seconds remaining.
more than normal.
Yeah. Pretty good,
That's,
right?
yeah, that's what the items do.
Radiant's turn to pick.
There's a lot of tension here already. I'm stuck in between
No.
mom and dad fighting.
You are part of our team now, actually.
Oh, no. This is
Midas
just
mode
like,
for that.
what was that the first Midas mode, Brax, when we were playing the
Yeah.
pubs and you were stuck between Slacks and Purge?
Oh
It
boy.
was awful.
When we were playing 5-man, that really was like a abused child syndrome.
We were in an 80-minute game, too.
An 80-minute game of Slacks playing techies, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, what else does he play?
And Brax was
Omni.
playing carry, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my god, that's a tragedy.
5 seconds
Carry
remaining.
Legion with 3,000.
Dire's turn to pick.
They've gone all in
Is
the
that a good
magic
counter
damage.
to Ench? I would say not for the lane.
Definitely not for the lane. You can kill Ench with these heroes in the mid-game, but the laning stage is still an issue.
Yes.
This is a pretty sick setup of heroes, though.
I love this combo. Just because of the Ancient Apparition magical damage buff. It's like
They're
so
even-
much damage.
Yeah.
They're in sync, too. They're even looking the same direction. I don't know what they're staring at. but
Everyone's looking over there.
Is
What's,
there-
what-
yeah,
what's
what-
cracking
They're
over
looking
there?
at Shane, obviously.
They're looking at
Ah.
Roche,
5
dude.
seconds remaining.
Roche is not here.
The Dire get a ban.
Okay, and there's the Magnus.
Magnus, so there's going to be, what, Carry Jug?
Yeah.
Slark,
Where's
maybe?
Troll been?
Slark,
That's been a forgotten. Every
Right.
time I see Magnus, I still think Mag Troll.
You don't want to pick Slark against
Against
Adol.
AA.
And Troll, I mean, the hero is really good if you have a like good carry matchup, I think. But he just gets kited so easily nowadays.
Troll also has the same problem as Slark, right? He doesn't have lifesteal when he ultis.
Yeah.
If the AA blast hits him.
He actually dies to the AA blast
Yeah.
when he gets below the threshold. That one's really sad.
Oh, the ult doesn't save him?
No, he just dies.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Doesn't Axe do the same thing?
Yeah, Axe can kill him too that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Hard
Black,
out.
once upon a time you were a VG Gaming member. Perhaps you still know something about the inner workings of VG many years afterwards. Is there any chance that this is a support edge? Do you think that these players would like to
I think
switch it just in
it's
case?
going to be a
5
support
seconds
mag.
remaining.
And you don't want to play 5 Ench, I think, right? You need somewhat of a scaling capability. So this game is probably going to be
Dire's ban
offlane.
now.
Because Fate plays Magnus for them, I believe.
Like, I personally don't like Enchantress. I think the hero is a little overrated.
Yes, I agree.
Clearly, it's extremely difficult to deal with, especially for carry players because you can't actually win the lane almost no matter what, like pretty much no matter what you do, you're not going to win the lane.
Yeah.
Like it's just not happening. And if you dedicate too many resources to it, you can do even at best. But she struggles in the other parts of the game when she can die
5
easily on the
seconds
map.
remaining.
And Sand AA, sure, it's a lot of magic damage, but I wouldn't be scared of playing Ench into this at all. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I think the best way to play against Ench is just send a hero like Sand King there. Because if Ench can't kill, she's a very slow farmer. And you can't really
Yes.
pressure the lane at all against Sand
Radiant's
King.
turn to
Yep.
bat.
It's a momentum-based hero where if you
Yeah.
can't take that first initial tower, it gets really difficult to play the rest of the game.
I think especially in this game it would be really good because they can't counter tri-lane, and Magnus doesn't do anything in tri-lanes. So if they actually were to go aggro tri-lane with an AA +2 and send the Sand King safe lane, I think they would already secure themselves a pretty good early game.
10 seconds.
I actually don't like Magnus support at all. So slow,
5
doesn't do anything.
seconds remaining.
You just empower people.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it feels like by the time you empower people, if you were another hero, they would have had more farm already. you know?
Right, you can't actually do anything because
I mean,
you're
it's
missing 2 players on the map, right? The carry farming and the Magnus.
Yeah, it's a moral boost though. You get empowered, you get the buff.
Makes
Screams
you,
at you.
makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Fair, fair.
Yeah.
Helps you play your best.
He's like the coach.
Yes.
Huh.
Magnus must be pretty strong, carrying that lance around the entire day.
And the fact that he can give you some of his power.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know how that happens, but he transfers some of it.
It's interesting.
I mean, as you can see, Ench isn't really carrying, it's kind of just laying on the shoulder. So it's not as effective of a shoulder workout.
Dyer's turn to pick.
A lot of reps,
boy.
though.
Tiny though, he has to carry a heavy ass tree.
Only
but he
not
gets-
all the time though. I
Right,
feel it's
right.
misleading because he doesn't have it skilled yet.
He takes a lot of breaks for sure. Like he skips a lot of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so one of these heroes is Core.
That's.
We saw quite a bit of mid tiny.
I think Tim's plays a really good tiny, so I think it's gonna be Tim's tiny. Of course, he can, as you said, he can play middle as well. Armor plays a really good
5
tiny too.
seconds remaining.
It's probably gonna be Sand King off lane, Tiny 4, AA 5. Tiny AA actually together can blow up anything as well.
Yep.
The
They have
vortex,
so
Ice Blast.
much,
Radiant's
so much
turn to
damage.
pick. Witch Doctor.
Another
Another
fragile
heal
hero.
So that's the
into
5?
AA as
Yeah,
well.
that's the 5.
This
I don't
one's-
understand
This
the pick.
one's weird.
Yeah, I don't
You know,
understand
'cause
this.
His whole idea is that he's a strong laning 5 position, but his purpose in the rest of the game is not too clear cut in this game.
He just dies.
Yeah,
in
he
this game.
dies
That's
to
his
these
purpose.
heroes.
It's not even good against the heroes they have.
Nope.
All right.
10
Well, perhaps a
seconds.
hero that they
Just like I don't know.
maybe they just know more about the hero.
Maybe they go for
seconds
void or
remaining.
something.
I think they want to set up like a strong duel and probably like Witch Doctor or Juggernaut or something, be able to kill.
Do you want another heal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Alright.
you heal enough, you can over.
Yeah, that makes sense actually.
The thing is, if you're not hit by A ult, you will heal.
We smart.
Dyer's turn to pick. Life Stealer.
Like stealer. They have.
PA or Jug? I like PA.
I like
actually too.
void. I'm gonna go all in on void.
Void is really good too. But he's boring.
He is.
I think there's some issues with Void in this game. It looks good, like the
They're slow.
carry matchup is really, really good.
Yeah.
But I think that they won't be able to defend themselves, and they're gonna die in the lanes. Like
They're really
over and
slow
over
too.
once any item comes out.
Yeah.
Any
Once
point
Chrono is
dagger.
used, they're kind of done.
5 seconds
I think Jug
remaining.
is probably what I
Or
would like the
Naga
most.
maybe.
Do people actually like playing Jug?
No.
No, it's
Not, not after he got nerfed. He lost like 2 edgy.
This hero's like
the
so.
movement speed. I hated that patch. They made him a little bit slower,
Yeah.
and it feels so bad to play him now.
He's like average at best.
No.
No,
It's still a very strong duel.
he's
lane, though.
like he's good in most situations, but he's never the best. But he's
Yeah.
also not the worst.
He's jack of all trades, right? He's not good.
Yeah, that's a
He's
good way
not
to
bad.
describe it.
Is the
He's just-
Radiant ban.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yep.
Juggernaut. Witch Doctor Juggernaut is a very strong duel lane.
Yeah.
It is.
And Empower Hunter was real strong.
Yeah. Actually makes him a hard carry
Yeah.
instead of being a little wuss.
A little wuss.
Dude, he hits like a sheep.
Are you calling him a wuss because he's not carrying too much weight there? It's just a
A
smaller
sword.
looking
I mean,
sword.
how can he call himself a man by holding something on his shoulder?
5
Not very
seconds
man.
Well, he
remaining.
looks cooler like this.
Look at Magnus though. That guy's a man.
He's
Why?
actually not a man.
He's a rhinoceros.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a different
but a
species.
manly one. He's a male.
Thank you, Zaire, for that.
It is the jungle after all.
Yeah, chime in with the facts every once in a while.
Why
Yep.
do you think he has this little cloth in front?
His what?
It's a loincloth. Haven't you seen Tarzan?
Yeah, but for what? For what?
To cover his man parts.
Exactly. Which brings me back to the point, he's very manly.
Well, Jug also has a line code.
Yes, but he also has an armor on.
Well, you don't know what's between the armor.
Maybe nothing.
There we go.
He might not even be a man, he has a mask on.
True.
What do you think about that?
Seconds remaining.
I'm mind blown. I don't know what to think anymore. I'm
I
just
get that a lot.
confused.
I like the just admit.
It's like the reaction he was hoping for.
Yeah. Yes, that is true. You are mind blown. I
Yes.
do that a lot to people.
Yeah. Get that reaction a lot.
All right.
Why do you ban Kunkka when you already have Lifestealer and
Because
all these other heroes?
He's very strong together with Mag, and he's actually like a tempo controller.
He's probably one of the strongest team fighting mid heroes early on.
Yeah.
So
Life
he's
steal is pretty good against it, though.
It's pretty good against Ench, too. Oh, no.
Do it away.
Yeah. my
Really good against
bad. It is
Ench.
good against Ench,
Yeah.
though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
So I don't really get the ban either, though. I'm sort of...
Kunkka's like he's a greedy hero in a sense that he doesn't lane well. So you don't actually want to give him an easy lane. When Kunkka comes out and you have the opportunity to destroy him in lane and counterpick, you kind of want to go for that, but that puts you in a very specific set of heroes. You know, Monkey King, Timber, very specific heroes that they may not want to play against.
Yeah. But they have last pick anyway, right, on TNC?
Right. They have last pick, but they still might not want to play one of these heroes just to destroy him in lane.
Is there any way you want to exploit this 3 melee stuff? Maybe an axe or...
Lean.
Oh.
That's a very good pick. A mid here with actually almost no weak matchups. I think Lina lanes okay against everything.
This hero sucks.
Yeah, it's so stupidly strong. And
No,
lane-
this hero blows. Like,
I
this
mean,
hero
yes.
is bad.
Later on he throws, but lane he's good.
Like, if you could measure heroes' power levels, like 1 through 10, Lina would be, like, average. Like,
Like a
5,
4.
5.5.
10 seconds.
4?
Yeah.
That's even lower than what I said.
Yeah.
So you think this hero sucks?
Lina's terrible.
Oh, okay. I
And
thought
like
you
once you pass him at 20,
I'm
What?
so-
Wait.
We got lost in translation here.
Wait, there was
You
something
were-
about... You said it was great.
in the laning phase.
No, before that, you also said it was great. And then you didn't follow up on that.
What do you mean?
We'll check the VOD later.
Anyway, the point is Lina really good on lane. After the lane, you walk around like 1200 health, you do nothing. You get
What
looped
happened to the Athos build? I kind of like that.
on Lina?
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
You were like super tanky. You could fight and you could set up your stun.
Yeah, but it sounds terrible.
Why?
Because you want to use
Why?
to set up.
Well, what's wrong with an Athos?
You can't save yourself from all the burst damage.
I always think Athos never actually saves you.
Exactly. That's why you will use.
Or Yules never actually saves you. My bad. You got me there.
rubbing off on you now.
Oh, God.
Anyways.
Okay, so 20 seconds for TNC. They need some
I think
sort
TA
of a
looks
mid.
alright.
What was that?
I feel like they want
Armel
some
loves
push.
TA.
Yeah, it's a good TA game.
Wow.
Lina lanes really well against Quap. Very surprising.
Well, here's your classic mid matchup. All right, well, before we throw it to our casters, we need some predictions, boys. Who's taking game 1, best of 3?
I'm going to go with Vici. I think they're just stronger overall.
Okay.
I think TNC is going to win because Lina's going to feed at some point and not going to have any impact against those heroes.
I'm going to say TNC.
Why?
For fun.
Okay.
You got to pick one of these teams, so
Yeah, 50-50.
you end up somewhere.
Yep.
Well said, Brax. All right, well, with that said, let's hand it over to our casters. I believe they are deep in the jungle. Moxie and Jenkins ready to take this one away. Game number 1 of this best of 3 series.
Oh my gosh, Jenkins, drive carefully! They don't enjoy this. Oh my God, we have so much. Oh yeah, we've got to get ready though. We got Dota to cast. Jenkins, hurry up!
Yeah, my voice.
Hurry up! Oh my God, guys, this is the entire week.
All right, that's enough cardio.
That's
for
crazy.
today.
All right.
I'm
All right.
good. You take
Are we
the wheel.
here? We're here. You have the
We're
wheel.
here. We're good to go.
All right. Let's
we
cast some Dota.
Got a nice match to cast.
Let's
That was a
go.
good panel. By the way, that's a team over there. Those guys that were fighting
Yeah,
and bickering
right?
the entire time.
Absolutely.
What a joke. What a toxic team. What a toxic environment this is at the MOONDUCK Jungle Jam. But, you know, we got some Dota, and we're ready to go.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see these guys play. Now we got Narmel on the Queen of Pain. We've got Ori on Lina. I still like Lina. I don't care what they say. I don't care if Lina's average.
I'm kind of in the average boat as well. I feel like
No, you're whatever you want to be, Jenkins. You don't have to be average. You can rise above it.
I appreciate that. That's very nice of you
You're
to say something
welcome.
like that.
I've been trying to tell Brax that he's a great human being too, and he just keeps saying I'm lying to him.
Actually, I wish you were my parents because you know it's nice
that
to
would
hear
be
that.
that'd be weird.
Yeah.
That'd be really weird.
Finally came up for air. Yeah, I know. I think Lina. You blink on Lina with the Queen of Pain. Lifestealer gets on the like anybody gets on top of the Lina, she just explodes. But it's nice to have a hero that just doesn't lose the lane. She's one of the most typical second to last picks in Dota. and looks like she's going to stay that way throughout this TI. So
Now, Jenkins, you do an awesome announcer voice. Can you announce this game for us, please?
okay, I'm going to break everybody's ears.
Do it.
TNC versus Vici Gaming.
Is that it?
Yeah, you've got the game 1.
Game number 1.
Yeah, I'd tip you if you were in my
kill
game.
me. Okay.
Look, even they enjoyed it. They're in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
past, and they knew.
Yeah, yeah.
They knew. I'm
You know
hyped,
what?
though.
I think that the tip meta, like these guys are just not giving a single damn about the tip meta right now. They're completely revolutionizing the tip game by just using everything right at the start, because everybody knows those late game tips, those are usually the most tilting. So it's interesting for them to see, or to come out and say that we don't need to use those tips in the late game. We're going to win this game legitimately, which is very uncommon for Dota players these days.
This is why we pay you the big bucks to be an analyst.
Absolutely. Big bucks, yes. Lots of those.
Absolutely. All right. Well, everybody's getting into position here. Looks like we're going to see probably an even split here for the runes. Think we'll see any first bloods happening.
Who's the Sand King laning with? What's going on? There's a Life Stealer top, an AA top. It's a Sand King 4. Am I wrong about that? What's a Sand King? No, he's
That's
a
a
core.
cuckoo.
So they just have their 2 cores in the same lane right now. That is interesting.
You know, maybe they're trying to mix it up, trying to confuse people.
I guess they want to get the Sand King lane versus possibly the Enchantress. I mean, I guess the Life Stealer lane's pretty nicely against it as well, but
For once, we're in agreement.
All right.
yeah, this is weird.
So, as predicted, we get the even split on the bounty runes. Nothing too exciting just yet.
What is Cuckoo doing?
Do whatever he wants.
He's
He's a
just
Sand
he's
King.
just- he's
His
just walking
name
by?
literally has the word king in it.
Oh, they're trying to show the lane and then have Vici get the lanes wrong by showing the SK there.
Smart.
That is very interesting. They're tri-laning with an Enchantress?
I guess.
Okay, so actually just straight up TP. So they did want this matchup. Yeah, this is a nice matchup. I think Black mentioned it during the draft. That Sand King just lanes against anything. He's not going to do like particularly well. He's not going to do particularly poorly. But if you're against a hero that's supposed to win every single lane, then having a hero that you can just go 50-50, that is extremely value. But that's always a problem when you just use your TP and then they TP out and then they get the right lanes.
Yeah, and then you don't want to have to go and do even more shuffling because you're going to miss out on all that experience.
Yes, and
That's pretty important for the side of TNC here.
speaking of experience, if you have a Lifestealer in the off lane, it's a lot worse than having a Lifestealer in the safe lane in a bad lane because there isn't a safe lane pull to work with. So
Right.
this is definitely going to be rough for TNC if they don't get the lanes right. They might do some sort of rotation a couple minutes in to try to get the lanes right with a couple of kills. That's also a pretty decent response, but it does suck to be in this position where you got the lanes wrong.
Well, it's pretty important, too. You know, they have a Queen of Pain over on the side of TNC who's going to be, you know, doesn't want to be your main initiator, obviously, because she is pretty squishy and is going to try to go for any sort of pick-off. So you really need to make sure that your Sand King is getting those levels, is getting the items that are going to enable him to kind of tank, soak up some of that damage. And if you're having a bad laning, that's going to put a damper on things for sure.
Yeah, and you do have the Tiny going a little bit later into the game, but since he's position 4, it obviously takes... it's going to take some time.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to have the impact that he wants if he doesn't have, you know, the levels and the farm, so to speak. But,
Oh, that's nice.
those are the worst.
That
creeps.
was nice.
I hate those.
Abusing those creeps. Ugh, that purple creep
Makes himself a
needs
nice-
to get nerfed.
God, I hate those creeps.
Yeah. How about the lizards? You try to stack them, they just roar at you and stand in the same spot.
Yeah, that's pretty annoying.
That's
too.
always pretty annoying.
Yeah.
You just have to remember you can't hit the lizards because they get mad at you and they don't let you stack them.
Nope.
This bot lane, I think if you skill Caustic, you can possibly beat a Juggernaut, but yeah, so he does have a point in Caustic, but it's still a Jug. He's still got the level 2 spin, a lot of kill threat if he can get a support to rotate. Witch Doctor Jug is pretty strong.
I just feel like we're not going to see too much happen early on in these lanes. You know, you're going to see the mids probably ferrying out regen back and forth, especially, you know, with the fact that Ori's going to take a lot of harass from Armel. But
I think there's definitely nothing going to happen in the top lane. It's an enchant lane. Like, she's just going to harass
Yeah.
the Lifestealer. He's just going to heal. Neither of them really die. And the bot lane is probably what's going to happen. I think Cuckoo could die down here to this combo. I don't see Paparazzi dying because he's Juggernaut against 2 magic damage heroes. And then possibly mid if there's a rotation. Both Lina and Queen of Pain are very strong if you just have somebody rotate to them.
yeah, it wouldn't be bad to see, you know, the Tiny rotate over to that mid lane a little bit later and possibly get some sort of a gank off. Of course,
Yeah,
he's
Lina
still
versus
level 1.
Tiny
He's
is hard.
going to need a little bit more than that, but
He does have the boots, you know, he's got the toss.
Yeah, he's working on
He
it.
can make it work. He
Yeah.
can make it work. You know, they could maybe kill the Witch Doctor down here if they can pull some sort of toss into tower, Burrow Strike. But if he just keeps his position not super aggressive, then it's just Juggernaut that stands up, and there's no way he dies. Although, as I say that,
oh, there's a toss because we do have a lifestealer down here in the bottom lane. DUI throws out the cast, gets a couple of these nice bounces, and the Avalanche connects on 3, but they'll follow up with the Burrow Strike, and Gabby's going to be able to take down DUI.
Thanks.
yeah, that's super nice. That's usually what you want to do whenever you get the lanes wrong like that. You need to eventually make the lanes good, and usually you do that by getting a kill first. It's nice to get a kill like that because sometimes getting a bounty as well, like waiting 1 extra minute and just getting the bounty rune is nice too, because you know that since you got the lanes wrong at first, you're gonna have a deficit, right? So you need to get something for the rotation. So it's really nice that they can make that happen.
And who expects the safe lane lifestealer to come and gank ya, right?
It's good, man. It's so good.
I love
Team
it.
Secret, they've been kind of revolutionizing the old core rotations for the last DPC.
Uh-oh,
there's the
Ori.
Tiny.
Oh, it's a 3-man gank in mid. They're going to take down Ori, and they might be able to find themselves a Magnosaurus as they throw Fade right back. Nice skewer, going to be able to connect on 2 of them. Taking a decent amount of damage. They'll throw out the cast, try to put out a little bit more damage, but oh, there it is. Armel dives into the back and should be able to make it out fine. Although he's getting a little greedy here. He needs to be careful. He'll just back off. Everybody's really low, and look at just the spread down here as they do manage to take down Tim's.
It's so unfortunate that DY doesn't have that extra XP that he almost had. What's the malediction, the purple Witch Doctor ability? I think he could actually kill the Queen of Pain for using that blink so aggressively there, but being level 2, he's only got a point in the Q and in the heal. Sometimes people do skill the malediction early, but I don't know.
I think it just
with
depends.
the jug,
It depends on what you're up with.
yeah, definitely. Matchups matter a lot.
Affirmative.
Top lane, Jug versus Lifestealer. I think as a Lifestealer, you're pretty okay with this. You'd rather be against a Jug than an Enchantress.
Yeah.
Both heroes are going to kind of poke you, but then on the bot lane, you have the Ench versus a Sand King, and the Sand King's going to freak farm.
Sand King's got to be a little bit careful, though.
I don't think they even have any sentries down here.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that
Oh,
they
they do.
have.
They
There's
have
one
one on
sentry.
Magnus.
Okay. They
Sand
drop
King
it
has
down.
his,
They can see
though.
Cuckoo. They can try to skewer him out, you think? Is
I
within
don't-
tower range.
I don't
although
think-
it's hidden
I
up
honestly-
with the trees.
He doesn't feel killable unless... So they do have Witch Doctor here. He tips them. He knows.
Radiant think fortification
How did he know? He just knew.
can save them.
There's no vision.
Ooh, all right. Armel gets a kill on Ori in the mid lane.
Hey, Dave, can we watch that one again?
Here it is. All
Thanks,
right.
Thanks, Pop-Tart. So,
And just the jump
blinks like
forward.
ultra aggressively. Ooh, the
Land
tiny
the light
rotation
strike.
from behind.
Oh, Tim's.
Look at, they came from behind the tower. Who expects that? He cut
Clearly
through-
not Ori.
He cut through the trees as well, so he's just coming out of the trees. Like, was he sitting in there the whole time?
Might have been.
What a madman. Then AA
Sneaking.
flanks from the other
Yeah.
angle.
It was a beautiful pincer for
That
sure.
was nice.
For sure.
I like that they're punishing the Lina because that's basically the only... Like, how are you going to kill a Jugger and Enchantress with these
Oh,
heroes?
they see DUI here. They have the sentry. They try to
He's
bait.
going to toss him to the camp again. He's trying to toss him. Look at this. You troll, Tims.
Might have bitten off a little bit more than he could chew, considering that is a Laguna Blade to the face, and the Maledict ticks. Whoop. Pop goes the Tiny.
From a stone.
You know what, though? I mean, if you're Tiny and you're drawing 3 heroes to their own triangle at 7 minutes into the game, I don't think you're too upset about that. You're off the map for a little while, but he respawns full HP,
That is true.
full mana. He's looking for somewhere to go now. Oh, back mid. He's not done with this Lina.
Well, he knows that Laguna Blade is down, although they should be able to spot him out over here on the side, so they'll know
Oh,
that he's
that-
made this rotation.
That bottle fill feels so good to be the Queen of Pain. Feels very bad to be Lina against a Queen of Pain who gets a free bottle fill because the Tiny was making space by the triangle.
Oh, again they find Ori, the toss into the air. Oh, Coconut gets a couple of these nice bounces here. Ori, is he going to be able to get this kill before he gets taken down? Yeah, he'll find a kill on AU. But Tims will clean up, and now Armel tries to TP out. Not going to be able to. Yang is in the vicinity.
I love this rotation from Yang. So what he's doing is he's just running to the lane that is having the most pressure applied to it, which is the mid lane. And also doing that on like a counter gank where you get a kill as well as making that rotation. It's just 2 birds stoned at once, you know? We say that in Canada instead
Oh,
of...
is that a Canadian thing?
Yeah, because, you know, the whole weed thing. Anyway, it's really nice to do that because you're just getting a lot more. And look at this.
Look at these
Massive.
stacks. These are
Oh, that's a-
beautiful.
that's
Cuckoo
a-
is going to have a great time over here. Looks like AU's going to try to soak up some of that sweet, sweet experience.
This is what AU's been doing up here with the Lifestealers. He knows that he can't pressure either a Jug or an Enchantress, so he just stacks for the Sand King.
That's smart.
Get
like
that,
it.
Get that early Veil, get that early Blink Dagger, level 12 on Sand King, the Blink Veil timing. There are very few heroes in Dota that can team fight like that.
A couple stacks over here on the side of the Dire, though, too. Maybe not taking as good of care of their jungle.
Look at the
That's a nice one.
look at the ward blocks, the center ward blocks from DY.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice because they're playing against a Magnus lineup, so they know the typical thing is to just play your triangle, stack the triangle, farm with the Empower, and it's very hard to contest that because it's the triangle. It's, you know, they have the shrine, the high ground, and oh, that is actually Dire wards. Thank you, Dave. Okay, so Vici is counter warding their own triangle because of the same reasons, mind you. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that.
What a treasure that Pop-Tart is. I heard he's a werewolf.
He's definitely a villain.
He's definitely a werewolf. Oh, but they have the dust. Cuckoo's going to have to go jump down to that lower ground
That's
there.
a level 1 burrow. He just level 1 burrow to the low ground. We were just talking if that's possible. Like
Now we know.
the other yesterday.
Ask and you shall receive answers.
Yeah. I mean, for Cuckoo, anything is possible.
Within reason. We're not going to go there, though. Just getting some farming up together action.
Spin to kill the purple creeps. Bounties respawning. Looks like Radiant is they're smoking to the bot. Bounties.
Got a coconut bounce here on Malediction.
So
See, Ori making his way over. He has his eyes over here on Armel, though.
they just need to get one of these because Cuckoo's going to get both the top ones.
A strike array. Nice timing, though. Not going to be able to land on Gabby as he rages up and he finds himself a kill on DY. Gabby gets pulled back, though, with that shockwave. In comes Paparazzi. They've got that Laguna Tims. He's got a passenger inside. Doesn't look like they're going to go after the passenger, but they'll take down the... And Cuckoo? Cheekily going to be able to get a steal, and he's going to pay for it with his life, though.
This Enchantress hero, you know, you play against heroes that are supposed to be counters, but the numbers on her abilities are just strictly too high. That's the problem with this hero.
I remember, I want to say it was like Pycat or someone. Like, this was a while back when like Enchantress was super, super popular, and he was saying how Enchantress is one of those heroes that just feels dishonest. Like, a lot of the teams really hate the fact that she's got, you know, the untouchable and the way that her sprites work and all that.
Yeah, against a lot of lineups, you can almost very literally tank every single one of the enemy team's abilities and survive with the heal.
It's pretty wild.
When that is possible, you just avoid the hero. You just cannot fight into that hero. You can't use stuff on the hero. You can't play to the hero. Sand King is supposed to be able to, but not aggressively like that. Not walking out of your sandstorm like that.
Armel finds himself another kill on Fade. He's going past that tier 1 in the mid lane.
What's the net worth looking like, just out of curiosity? Okay, yeah, I was imagining something like that, because Queen of Pain is just getting a ton of kills. Not really CSing too much, but incredibly active.
I like it, though. She's one of those heroes that I feel, and we talked about, you know, snowballing heroes. We talked about the TA in the former game that Chris Luck was playing, but, you know, Quap, TA, these are heroes that kind of need to be active early, really start snowballing and become, you know, that mid-game presence that causes a lot of issues. Top lane, though, big snowball as Gabby takes down Yang.
So that's the one way you kill Enchantress. You rotate every single one of your heroes to her and then have the AA blast from afar. And I think the Queen of Pain was even heading towards top as well. So if they don't finish off the Enchantress, I will.
I think it was Z-Freak we were talking in the back, and he says, you know, you just can't bother with that hero for
You
the most
ignore
part.
her,
Just
yeah.
ignore her. She actually ends up getting stronger from kills than if you just leave her alone and let her farm.
And that's exactly why she's playing in front of the top tower, by the way, just because this tower, she knows that this is where TNC wants to pressure next. So if she sits here and doesn't die, it's really bad for TNC. So she forced that rotation.
DUI gets taken down here. Now Gabby's going to get slowed. Going to try to hide himself over. Has himself into a creep. Ice Blast does connect over onto Paparazzi and Young.
That was cool, man.
Oh, Fade.
Did you see the Ice Blast was coming and TNC brought the creeps so it didn't kill and pull the Lifestealer out?
I
They
did
pulled
not
the
notice
creeps
that.
out of the Ice Blast.
Ooh, Cuckoo.
Under attack.
Oh, he's still alive. You gotta catch him. Can they get with the shockwave? Oh, that drags him back just a little bit. He's got 30 hit points, but the Dragon Slave slays him.
Ori turned around as soon as he shot the Dragon Slave. He was just like, don't worry, guys, this will kill him.
I got it.
Really nice tier 1 defense from Vici, though. It's, once again, because the Enchantress died and she can't just hold the top lane, you have to like mount a full defense. And then taking this tower is, it's okay. There's not really any like triangle farmer on TNC, so it's not that big of a deal. But you may as well take the free objective. If you're going to win a team fight in front of your tier 1, wow, this is a gang
Paparazzi.
squad.
Does he know?
Is under attack.
He says he doesn't see people on the map right now because they do have pretty good ward coverage, right? You've got the one over on the eye spot.
Yeah.
Looks like a couple over on the bottom.
If Paparazzi was Thompson, he walks right up that hill to farm the triangle. I swear to God, that guy like exclusively farms the enemy side of the map. He's a madman, but in the best possible way, of course.
A madman that has results.
Oh, of course. God, this mag. This hero, it's coming back.
Dire's middle tower is
Originally, it was in response to the Alchemist, and now it just seems like people are realizing it's pretty good in general. Especially with like how difficult it is to just get into that triangle, and that's the place that you stack up and you farm with the mag and power.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Finally, TNC gets the tower.
Dire's
Slav
top
Urang
tower
Tankus,
has
yeah.
fallen.
I thought he was going to get that last hit.
Dire's middle
Interesting
tower
that
is
Vici chose to not
drowning.
defend that. I know a lot of people have the rule that like you defend the safe lane just once, because if you keep doing it, you risk having the enemy team just come back full resources and you've no spells, and then they just kill you and take your tier 2 as well. So a lot of the time people, they want to hold the safe lane tower for a long time because they think it's good for their game, but at a certain point they're like, okay guys, this is getting riskier and riskier. Let's just, you really mostly want to play the enemy side of the map anyway.
Is about to take the plunge.
I love that Yang went for the 4-step first. He does not need to be a damage dealer this game. He just needs to be safe. Keep his team safe too.
And Blast going to get thrown in here. Kirky standing off on the side. Try to take down the creeps on there. They're not ready to back off though. Paparazzi, Big Papi, he's still in the vicinity. So Ori's going to clean up on this creep wave. And they still have Lifestealer top. So.
Cuckoo's in such a nice position. This, honestly, this sort of playstyle with Sand King is, when he did fall off, I was kind of a little bit glad just because this is so hard to push into that you just see him there and it's like, all right, we're out of here. Most other heroes, you could kill him and then take the tower, but with Sand King, it's just so hard to walk into a Sandstorm. You're just going to die. He's going to kill all the creeps. He's not even going to be, when you walk into a Sandstorm, he just walks out. And he's not an Invis hero. If you dust him, he just goes the same move speed. You know, it's so hard to pressure him. It's funny that Vici and TNC both have heroes that do this. They just sit in a lane and just protect it. And that's the Enchantress and the Sand King. And definitely is something that's going to delay this game, which I think favors Vici if this game is delayed, because they have the Magnus.
Did just get a Blink Dagger that got picked up on Tiny. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a more active rotation here. And I'm almost wondering, too, if we're going to see Gabby hopping in. Although he does have the Midas, he's going to be going for the Radiance, doesn't quite have that Relic up just yet.
That Fade Blink Dagger on Magnus, so
Fade just
important
finished
this
up.
game. Tiny Blink Dagger pretty important too, because there's Lina, which is a very burstable hero, and they look to be smoking with it. They have Witch Doctor, which is very burstable. Even Jug has a relatively low HP pool if he's not going for stat items early. So he's definitely killable, it's just they need to chain their spells very well.
Well, I like this. I like the Blink Dagger on Tim's. I think that's going to allow him to follow up with Armel, because we talked about it, right? We talked about how, the Sand King can jump in there, the Quap can jump in there. Obviously, you want the Sand King kind of to be in the front, although Tim's also a great candidate, but he is a support, so it always takes a little bit longer.
Oh, that's not the hero. That's not the hero.
No,
you
they're
want to walk
backing
up
off.
behind.
Oh, all right. Tim says, let's go for it anyways. Above the Sonic Wave, but it's going to be forced over to the side. Big Ice Blast, though. I don't think, they're going to lose AU. Young is absolutely fine, but the jump forward, they weren't expecting that. As they take down the Enchantress, they'll take down Cuckoo, and now it looks like this Queen of Pain. There's going to be a Light Strike Array. They've got some nice bounces with the RP coming through. They'll get a triple kill for Big Papi over here.
All right, okay, so maybe this is an off-laner bias here, but I'm going to say that that was a really cool RP. That was a really nice, light strike ray and all of that stuff, but that was 100% the Enchantress setting that up. He knew that there was a move coming, so he walks right up the high ground like a madman, says, don't worry, guys, I'm going to force out. I'm going to waste all of their abilities. I thought he was going to survive. He probably thought he was going to survive as well, but it doesn't really matter if you die. If you've wasted all of the enemy team's abilities and you start the fight like that, it sets up for Fade to get this huge RP. It sets up for the light strike array and the Lina. It sets up for everything because they reveal their positions first. That's what the Enchantress allowed to happen. So really nice play by Yang. Unfortunately, it does make your hero fall off pretty quickly if you run around dying. But
was that a mistake on the part of Tim's to initiate on the Enchantress, though?
Yeah, I honestly think so. If maybe they thought that they could burst, but with the Force Staff, they need to chain a little bit better. But I think more so the idea of going on the Enchantress is probably what you would want to focus on in like a post-game analysis sort of thing. It's like you should go on that back.
Oh, Laguna Blade down here. Gabby is trying to run, but there's a Death Ward with his name on it.
He was so close to getting the Infest off. Witch Doctor pretty nice against the Lifestealer, even when he gets the Radiance. I'm pretty sure the Witch Doctor ulti now pierces evasion. Death Ward attacks have True Strike. Okay, the ulti, when it gets the Aghanim Scepter, has True Strike.
Yeah, we saw that a while back. I think it was picked up against a lot of the PAs.
But I don't think it can miss against the Radiance. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure.
We talked about this once upon a time. I'm fairly sure.
Does it miss? I don't think it does.
I don't think it misses.
I don't think
not against the Radiance, but against
like evasion source.
Evasion.
Sources.
Yeah, I believe that.
But the miss chance can't be applied to the Death Ward. It can't take like debuffs.
Something like that. Something to that effect.
That would make sense, but it's Dota, so.
It's Dota. You never know.
We'll just not like make any concrete
Don't make any
calls.
assumptions. We do have a lot of Blink Daggers, though, coming online here. We do have Fade, who has picked his up, and we've got Cuckoo, who has one on the Sand King.
Oh my god, this Sand. Ooh, this play style. It's like, all right, guys, do we want to go on their tankiest, most mobile hero? What do we do?
I feel like they want to try to bait. Like maybe he'll come forward.
If he's not memeing, he's going to stay right in that tower, And I think Cuckoo's pretty disciplined when it comes to this sort of thing. I know he plays a lot of Sand King.
Smoke?
Oh, they're going to go elsewhere. That's a good play. You can't push into it. You just can't push into this sort of thing. Very annoying to deal with, but...
I think they're waiting to because runes are up. Yeah, so that ensures that they're able to grab the runes. Lena going to get herself a haste rune on the bottom. And the rest of...
Soon TNC is going to know that there's something happening. Okay, so yeah. So Vici just says, okay, they probably know that we smoked because a second wave just arrived at the Sand King's tower. So let's just break the smoke and keep farming. That was just a smoke in case TNC were also smoking to fight those bot runes. Pretty nice.
And back to farming right now. Looks like Juggernaut top. Net worth 12k. 9k on Lifestealer, and pretty neck and neck with the Lina right now.
He's got a Scotty too. With the Magnus, any of these like agi items, any of these stat items are so good. Just empower and get so much extra damage. Yeah, Manta. He'd probably go for a Butterfly next too, just to get that ridiculous amount of damage from that Empower.
So this is go time now. We've got the Lifestealer with the Radiance online. You've got a Tiny with a Blink Dagger, and of course you've got a Queen of Pain who's always ready to fight.
If there's any point to fight, it's definitely now. This is a really nice timing for Lifestealer. I feel like this hero, I don't know. I really feel like if you don't abuse the Radiance timing, it is not worth picking it. Like it has a really strong Radiance timing. Don't get me wrong, but he can ludicrously fall off the moment people get like Monkey King bars in the late game. He does not hold a candle to these other carries. Jug he normally would, but not with the Magnus.
Oh, look at this pincering.
Fade smoke broke, so he can't walk in. That sucks.
Another smoke coming out from the side of TNC.
Oh, I love this. This is so nice.
With a Lifestealer bomb. Oh, Yang. Yang spots out, follows the Burrow Strike, going to be able to go throw out the Ice Blast. And with that silencer, just slowly chase him down. They'll get the kill, and they'll find the kill on DY. I hear a Lincoln's getting popped somewhere. I don't see where or who, but it happened.
I think it was Roshan.
Oh,
possibly.
Roshan. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, there it is. So going on the Enchantress is definitely acceptable the later and later you get because she tanked that gank and she's been, you run out lanes and you kind of like respond to pressure, and if you die a few times doing that, you just completely fall off and you're a support, which is why a lot of people go for a Midas. So that way you will scale decently into the late game. But the Force Staff has definitely paid off. It's just that the value is in the other heroes that were able to take good team fights. The Enchantress is now a support, unfortunately.
Ooh. They thought about it there for a second. I think that's fine because the sentry was just about to go down anyways.
SK's just so hard to deal with. At a certain point, you need a gem because he has Yule's Lotus.
Yeah.
Dust doesn't do anything. Sentries can get dewarded by other sentries, by you know, gems. I love how adamant TNC is when it comes to just standing on high grounds. I know that sounds completely ridiculous, but the art of doing nothing, but doing nothing in really good places in Dota is an art. Like, you know, it's very.
That was very eloquent.
Thank you so much. Yes, this is why I'm here.
Very articulate.
It's quite nice to see that, though, because a lot of the time in Dota, you feel pressured to do something when really the best thing that you should do is just accept that you're farming or out-farming or you're okay with how much you're farming and that you should protect your team.
Ori, hoping he can find Tim's over here in the corner, and it's a 3-man fight right there as they take him out.
Paparazzi is looking pretty scary in this game.
I'd say so.
I think I'd probably go for Butterfly, MKB, and then be able to deal with this Lifestealer extremely well, especially with this Empower to back him up.
Oh, the Laguna Blade comes through. They use the RP, and they get the kill on Armel. There'll be no blinking out this time.
Beautiful setup. Fade was just there already. He was just ready for the split push.
Well, this is scary now, right? Because they know that they've got a Shadow Blade on Ori. So Quap really has to be even more careful. She can't just, you know, move around the map. Obviously, you can see Armel is hiding in the trees. Like, please, God, don't look over here, because he is just cannon fodder, basically.
The reason that I think that rotation worked was because the Queen of Pain calculated with the Lina being bot and with all of that the gank happening bot. That's like there's no way somebody's already set up top. Like she'd see the staggering TPs from the Magnus and then be able to get out if the I have enough effective HP to survive just a Lina Laguna. But Fade was just there. Ballsy play to be split like that, but very, very strong, obviously.
Oh, the jump forward, though. I'll go. Get that
is
life
an
stealer
infested
out.
life stealer.
That is. Well,
and he's afraid of Fade. Right at the bounty rune timing. Man, Vici is...
This is not what you want to see happening. You don't want that life stealer just hitching a ride and
It's going to be
cuckoo.
4 bounties? 1 denied by Enchantress.
Yeah, they got the...
Vici is killing it right now. The last, 5 minutes have been immaculate.
In all honesty, I actually have VG Gaming winning TI this year.
Oh, I put them as most of my predictions, but obviously biased because they won the previous major. So
yeah, I mean their minor to major run was very, very impressive, and I just feel like they're in a really good spot. But you know, this is a best of 3. Anything can happen.
Yeah, this one's looking
a bit rough.
I mean, we'll see. Once again, I'm biased because of my personal opinion on Lifestealer that once you miss this Radiance timing, he just falls off as a carry, and he's not really farming that quickly compared to the Juggernaut with the Magnus and power. I really think that TNC is going to get weaker and weaker. But with that being said, it's Dota, and one single team fight can still determine a winner or loss. You can still get somebody without buyback. You can take one really good fight, take Roche, and all of a sudden with that Roche, the dynamic shifts. But Vici's playing really nicely.
Oh. Cuckoo at the last second here.
Fade draws the arrow. They're going to push in the bot lane and just move towards top and maybe finally push TNC out of the triangle. Look how many D wards TNC has on their triangle. They are really trying to secure this area. That's like the last kind of beacon of hope for you when you feel like you're getting pressured really hard. You're just like, all right, guys, we're just going to buckle down, secure the triangle until we feel strong, and then we'll maybe make a move. But it looks like Vici is trying to make a move into that triangle right now.
Absolutely. BKB does get picked up on the Queen of Pain, though, now, so that'll go to their advantage. Of course, they have reverse polarity, which will be able to hold people into place. I believe Lina also completed a BKB, and it's scary. You don't want to go up onto that high ground. Jump forward from Tim's. Toss up into the air, find a quick pick off on DUI, so they've got to be feeling pretty happy about that. And that will force them out from the Roche pit.
I thought that was a Magnus, actually. I couldn't see with all the stones and that. That's just the Witch
There's
Doctor.
so many particles.
I don't think you care. I don't think you care. I thought they got the Magnus, but
yeah, that would be a big
that would be
one.
huge. Witch Doctor, it doesn't matter at all.
Are they still going to try to go in and fight without the Witch Doctor?
I think it's fine. The Witch Doctor's kind of just the ulti at this point. Maybe Cask, but Cask is not a very reliable stun when it comes to 27 minutes into the game.
True.
Against this lineup.
I just feel like it's really good, though, in any sort of like choke point area, whether it's Roshan or...
True.
It's got value. It's
He is,
definitely not
he
the
is respawning,
best,
too. You can just be like, all right, this
it's fairly
position 5 is like a
fairly
25-second
low level,
timer.
so. He's back in. Feels like they want to go for this top tower.
I think they might push this in, make it look like they're going for the top tower, and then smoke and try to get a pick off. Maybe
I
into.
think they have a smoke, though.
They have a smoke on the Sand King.
Dire's top
Oh, yeah.
tower is
They're
under
just,
attack.
they're just gonna walk. They think
Okay.
that there's no river wards, possibly.
That's. I mean, they've been putting up a lot of D wards everywhere,
True.
so could be feeling fairly confident that there's no vision there. Total net worth, Dire. It's looking pretty nice.
The Radiant do not have good wards, or I should say TNC do not have good wards for ganking. They don't have any wards in their own jungle. They don't have any wards in the enemy jungle. There's really nowhere that they can see the enemy team out of position other than if the enemy team is on top of them.
Yeah, they're just trying to protect themselves, although to jump up over into the high ground. Immediately, though, Lina pops the BKB. They try to run this Magnus out. It's not going to work. It's going to get silenced, and they'll turn their attention now over to DY. Laguna Blade's going to get used over here onto Cuckoo. They have the vision, that BKB, saving it up with the Ori, and they'll find a kill on Armel. Can they find this kill on Tims? So they've got a Yules. Can they follow up with a stun? It's not looking the case to be today as he goes into that Roche pit, blinks himself out, and will be able to save his lifestealer too. But that is an open Roche for them.
That's a bad place to die. Right.
Yeah,
in
they
front
buy
of the
back
Roche
on the
pit.
AA. Doesn't how long till Ice Blast?
3 seconds.
Yeah, so that that's going in. There you go. Down the vortex. Tim standing on the outside of the pit. He's thinking about it. Halfway down. They'll be able to go. Oh, nice force staff though. Tim's still alive and kicking. We'll just toss out Yang over here, and there's a big Ice Blast coming through. Gabby off to the side. That's a lot of pure damage here coming out from Yang. Gonna be able to go over onto the high ground. Paparazzi's not quite ready to give up. Has his eyes on Gabby, but not gonna be able to grab him as he does jump into one of those dragons. Tim's now trying to run himself away, but everywhere he looks, he's a pinball. Just keeps getting hit from every single angle. Tim's, he's gonna make it out alive as the rest of the team here. Cuckoo trying to get himself out. Gabby popping back out again. The BKB on Ori, gonna be able to save him, TPs himself away. They'll be able to take down DY. Yang just throwing out all as many of these impediments as they can, but we did get the buyback coming out from Tim's. I don't think they want to stay here for much longer.
This fight has been going on for like 2 minutes straight. Things are not boding well for TNC when I actually think their initiation, despite being very ballsy, was extremely good. Ooh, Epicenter being channeled.
That sounds like an Epicenter as they'll jump forward and not be able to get too much with it here. They don't have the vision over onto Cuckoo. We'll throw out that Light Striker. It's a blind hit. Fade, he's looking, not going to be able to quite find him. Cuckoo hiding off in that dusty sandstorm of his.
That would have been nice if he pulled him out.
That would be sick.
Because they have
sure.
no vision.
Well,
But
who's supposed to be carrying dust? Yeah, you can see it queued up over here.
GG, kick Fade. Come on, Fade. It's like, I'm a 4 position. I don't need dust. That's my Witch Doctor doing. Your Witch Doctor is dying. That's what your Witch Doctor's doing.
Witch Doctor's popping off there. Do you have a gem, though?
Oh, God, he needs to give that to somebody else ASAP.
He needs to stay as far back as possible.
Dire are
But I do
scanning
like
for
the fact they
enemies.
picked up a gem. Maybe not necessarily on the Witch Doctor.
I'm pretty sure what he just did is he immediately clicked the gem onto the Lina from base. Yeah, there it is. He actually
Please
just-
take this. And Ori has
Oh,
been
he's
surviving
just-
quite a bit with very, very low health.
He's just a
so.
courier. Yeah, with the travels, with the bottle.
Yeah.
You can go
The
back to
BKB
base.
too.
Full HP, BKB, Yule Scepter, Shadow Blade as well. Yule's off dust.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ori's very difficult to kill.
Ori's an amazing player, too.
That's
Always consistently been
that
impressed by him.
initiation. Well, they went on Ori first, but then they switched to Fade. That was amazing because it's a Magnus you want to focus, and they silenced. I believe they also silenced like.
Again, this is another fight. Same area. Oh, look at DY. Tries to stand. There's going to be the RP, though, coming through. And they've got the Witch Doctor ultimate. They'll be able to take down Gabby. DY will get taken down. The buyback, though, coming right out here from that Witch Doctor. As they'll take down Cuckoo. They'll take down Armel. And they seem pretty happy right now. Ooh, and the BM tip.
So they saved the Witch Doctor tips, and you can see that he only used a 50 Dota Plus coin tip. So
Shut
that
up,
means he
Jenkins.
has 3 more.
Shut up, Jenkins. There's a jump in again from Tim's. He's trying to force him out of the pit. They know that he's sitting very, very low. Fate, though, he finds him, goes and skewers him right into the rest of the pit. That's a beautiful, beautiful burrow strike, though, coming out from Cuckoo as he jumps forward again. Can they find the kill onto Fate? They'll find kill. Paparazzi trying to run himself out that radius burn, though. It hurts. He's trying to get himself away. He can't get away fast enough from Gabby as he gets chased down. Another buyback. We got buybacks coming out left and right. Money's just going everywhere here, Jenkins, as they're fighting over there on the high ground. This Enchantress trying to chase after Tim's, but will not be able to finish him off just yet.
Really nicely executed team fight, all set up with Cuckoo hitting that 3-man burrow strike. It's this is why Sand King in the late game is so scary. It's not about his damage. It's the Sandstorm's pretty nice, honestly, especially when you get to 25 talent. But it's all about those double and triple burrows. Just disabling heroes for that long, it lets your team set up their abilities on them. It's
What is this, the third time they've tried to get into this road pit? They better get in there fast, boys.
I can't believe that. I can't believe TNC is taking the Roche. They have fought for so long for this Roche, and they finally get it.
What's going on here? What's going on? Oh, no, Fade.
He's dead for 77 seconds.
Yeah, he bought back earlier, too.
They can take possibly 2 towers from this. At the very least, they're going to shove all of their lanes, which means they're going to have the ability to make a move right after as well. This is not a good time to get picked off. It's kind of just bleeding deaths.
I guess right now, what do? You just push out the other waves, maybe try to cut a wave?
Yeah, somebody wants to head to the bot lane immediately, and you can see Jug is doing that. He's going to possibly pick up a bountier that's still there. Oh, he sees it. He's like, why is this here? It's been 4 minutes. But pushing that bot lane, if he can force the racks push, then TNC's going to have to get back, and they won't be able to push this.
And look, they're already starting to shift. They want to get that bottom tier 1, it looks like.
All right, I want to see somebody on TNC cut this bot wave. Come on, Gabby. Somebody cut the wave. Nope.
Nope, it's leaving you hanging.
Yeah, they're okay. I guess they're just moving as an entire unit to push the lane anyway. So they don't feel like they need to cut it because they're going to that lane to take those towers next. Because top tier 2 doesn't really matter that much. But at this point, you'd like to take that tier 1 and the tier 2 to deny the enemy team their own triangle. Because then you can just sit there, hold that high ground, and cut the bot and cut the mid. And that is just such an efficient farming position.
No one has buyback. There's only 2 people who have not used buyback, and that's Alina and the Enchantress here. Everybody else is on a cooldown.
Yang will have buyback soon, though,
What a
so
game.
some intentional feeds will indeed occur. I love that. That's an open AI strat right there.
Right.
Where I'm the only person with buyback. I'm going to walk in, start the fight, feed. They use all their abilities, then we win the fight. It's a super nice play. It feels bad though. It doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Ori has a sheep stick. Uses the Laguna Blade. Needs a little bit of backup here though. He's just kidding.
Nice discipline to
Give
like
him a poke.
to start that. Then the moment he sees the lifestealer, it's okay. This guy's not solo. I'm gonna get out of here.
I'm immediately just gonna go and farm up down here on the bottom wave.
It uses the TP scroll, so he still has the travels. If he shows down here, he can immediately get back towards his team.
God, that was such a huge change when they decided to make those
yeah.
separate cooldowns.
That and then the invention of cutting creep waves while holding high grounds, that completely nullified slow pushing as a tactic. Like hard slow pushing, Nature's Prophet. I think there's a reason you don't see that hero very often. It's just not that effective.
All right, well, TNC looks like they want to go for this top tower. They do not have the Sand King with them, though, and that's a pretty big component.
He might have bots at this point. Can you click to the Sand
Yes, he
King?
just picked it up.
Okay,
Literally
nice.
just
Yeah,
picked it
so
up.
he's
Top tower
this is
under
the
attack.
point in the game where it's very nice to have a bots hero. So that because you know that you need to be not only a 4-man unit, a 5-man unit. It's not the mid game anymore. This is the this is getting into the late game. One single death or pickoff could be the entire game, and in order to get pickoffs, you need to have the lanes pushed in. So you can just get completely choked out if you don't have somebody with bots. Even 2 people with bots is not bad.
Tips. Well, a little sassy here. Oh, just a little bit out of it.
He queued up that chat wheel before he was safe. That could have been very embarrassing for Tim's. Just FYI. He just knew. He knew.
Yeah.
It's like, Fade's not good. He's not going to hit this.
I'm sure that's exactly what was going through his
Absolutely.
mind. Like, haha.
He's feeling good. He's feeling himself. It's 3K gold lead now only. They've taken the momentum.
But I still feel like the later this goes, the scarier it gets for the side of TNC.
I think so. I agree. One thing that we haven't really talked about is the Queen of Pain level 25. that talent is kind of nuts in the late game, and she's getting close to it. Once you're 25, you can kind of just go into a fight and go on anyone, and you just scream, and everybody's feared. And it's like, all right, I'm gonna pick this guy to kill.
Yeah.
It's like a mini, Dark Will of Fear, mini kind of Chronosphere, where you just go in, you BKB, you're never gonna die.
Ori senses something's up. Sees that the creep actually just
Look at Gabby. That is
moseyed out.
nice, nice Dota right there. The art of doing nothing right there, and Cuckoo too, sitting on the high ground. Beautiful. Not enough pub players do this. Just hitting jungle creeps, and then they die. Speaking of which, Paparazzi, hitting jungle creeps. He's got the BKB. I'm surprised he's not going for a basher. It's pretty nice with the Magnus. Otherwise, you can kind of only kill people with lockdown or with the Omni Slash. But the BKB is definitely necessary. It's all magical damage and stun, and when the Queen of Pain gets a fear, ooh, it's hard to be a hero if you don't have a BKB.
It just does get reclaimed. What's the play now for TNC?
I think you're cool that you've finally been able to move out of your triangle. I like that they're doing this defensive holding high grounds thing.
But it doesn't feel like they're being particularly active, and time is against them.
The thing with the late game in Dota is it's so strange. You just kind of have to play as a unit, push all the lanes in, try to do it as safely as possible, and then hope that the enemy team gives you some sort of information that you can act on to take a good fight. You never really want to take just some random 5v5 on like some flat ground. It's like, okay, they're fighting on our shrine, so we're fighting. They're fighting on a high ground, we're fighting. They're fighting on a ward, we're fighting. So it's kind of just a waiting game at this point, and you're pretty happy that the game is back to even because they were confident winning team fights when it wasn't even. So I think they're probably pretty happy just kind of waiting for information to present itself at this point. So Vichi's possibly gonna go for a smoke, maybe?
They're grouping up like they want to make something happen. But they're not
Playing.
going to find anyone over here in this jungle. And they have pretty good ward vision, too, coming up from the Radiant.
They're just doing a little play where they're playing in front of Yang and seeing if TNC was going to set up to gank him, possibly. And now it's 30 seconds before bounties, so honestly, just sitting and securing these bot bounties is probably an acceptable play. I don't think there's a way that they get to top. If there is, I will be very confused how they do it.
Scanning for
They're
enemies.
hoping that maybe they can find someone in the jungle, but they're mirroring pretty hard right now. It's interesting the way that they are moving because they don't have vision with some of these wards. They did see the Enchantress, I believe, in the bottom lane.
Yeah, here's showing.
Ooh, an Arcane Rune.
Ooh, that's nice. That's real nice.
Or
You honestly might give that to Jug.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because the Omni is so
That's
important
true.
for these
That is
fights.
true.
The crazy thing about this new Omni is like when you get a Basher and you have Empower, you don't even need an RP to kill people. It used to be like the Omni on top of the RP, but you just press Omni on anybody and you attack so fast you'll kill them with Basher. Unless it's the Tiny. Then he presses Ghost Scepter.
I do have to say, like, I don't really love the fact that Tiny no longer has a tree to throw, but I do like how, like, terrifying he looks as he gets bigger now.
Oh, you mean with the
With the Prestige.
Prestige? Okay, I'm going to be completely honest here. Big fan of Valve, but I'm getting a little confused with the Personas, the Prestiges, the Arcanas. How many words am I supposed to be remembering here for all these things that are the same?
I don't know, but Ori opens up, Light Striker, eh? Got a little bit of damage, has that Hex. They'll use the Witch Doctor ultimate to boot. Has himself a Ghost Scepter, but that's not going to protect you from a Laguna Blade.
Burns, doesn't it?
Dire structures are fortified.
I don't think you mind too much if you're TNC. I mean, well, the thing is, I guess Tiny's high level, so... Oh, wow, they're going to go for a smoke. This is a ballsy play, but... This might
They know
actually set
Laguna's
up,
down.
This
Oh,
might set up for something
Fade.
really nice. Fade! No, it was so close! If he just got vision. That would have been really sick if they made that. Because they know Tiny has buyback, and he doesn't mind using it at this point. That is such a cool play. You know that Vici's going to put themselves out of position like that, and it almost worked. That was so close to working. Because Fade is the hero to get. He is absolutely the hero. It's like Fade or Jug or Ori, maybe. It's confusing when I'm using both hero and player names, isn't it?
Nah, a little.
It's a Dota player thing. I feel like it all just meshes together. And they just go try to slow push. Wait for the Tiny.
All right, they're going high ground now. Heroes comes out though immediately. Cuckoo going in for the burrow strike. Does have a lifestealer bomb in him. Does not want to deploy just yet though, as Yang sitting on the low ground. Try to help out here. Spin out away from the tower. They get the fortification.
A bit of damage, fortification. This also allows them to farm out the triangle, TNC triangle. Unfortunately, it's at the 36-second mark, so it's whatever they farm is going to respawn. Okay, I guess they move back in, so they're going to take the triangle. They do have a good ward there. You definitely want to protect this ward.
They grab their
Such a
own
good place to
gem on the side of TNC.
Oh boy,
now.
that is not the blink.
Cuckoo! Oh no! Oh no!
Ooh, the
They'll
Yules!
be able to use the Yules for a little bit longer. Nice barrel strike coming out. Big ice blast gonna get thrown over onto the side. They'll be able to take down Yang. DY gonna fall. Cuckoo next. And now the buyback comes out from the Enchantress. She's not willing to go down just yet. Cuckoo gonna buy back as well. As they get a bash over here onto the Juggernaut. And did they cancel out the TP? No, he's still here. All right, there's gonna be the toss again as Armel finds himself a kill on Fate. And now Paparazzi, he's trying to run himself away. More buybacks coming out again. Followed up here, Yang throwing out as much damage as he can. Burrow Strike gotta be able to get running through with that Sonic. Oh my goodness, this is a slaughter, Jenkins. Triple kill, killing spree. And they were trying to go after Ori too, and they didn't quite.
I absolutely cannot believe that TNC blinked up the high ground when all of Vici were sitting there with a ward, and they won the fight. I hate to be the mechanics guy, because I always think it's like bullshit to say that some mechanics won you a fight or won you the game. But that Yules dodging the RP was so nice and critical for turning that around. That looked to be awful for TNC. That should have been devastation, but
all right, well that is going to be the Roche pickup now for TNC. Lifestealer did pick himself up in Abyssal Blade as well, so things are turning. The tides are turning here for them. It's a lot of buybacks coming up on the side of the Dire.
and no eggs on that one. But they do have the cheese on Queen of Pain. Considering that he wants to blink in and just start kind of, possibly start fights using the Scream of Pain or go on the back lines or whatever it is.
We got the full 25 too.
All of that's very aggressive. So having the cheese is nice for that.
Is about to flounder.
That's a nice AA blast, scouting the trees. It didn't result in anything, but still.
It's on a fairly low enough cooldown where it doesn't matter.
It's cool to see those little plays that people do at this level.
Oh, for sure.
To kind of scout the counter play.
Meanwhile, if I do that in my pubs, I'll just gonna get flamed and be like, why'd you do that, dumbass?
You missed your ult. This guy's a pleb.
It's gonna be pretty hard for them to take down Gabby right now. See them going up. They're thinking about going for the high ground. It's going to be the Infest Bomb over on Cuckoo. I guess they changed their mind. They're hoping maybe they could grab someone, but Gabby is going to go hit the tower, rage up. Has to be careful though, of course. Yang throwing out that pure damage.
Yang just standing right in the front. This build on Enchantress, which talents did he go? He went the right talents. Huh. Okay, so he went damage. Still, Eon Disc on Enchantress, very nice for essentially doing what you want to do in the early to mid game, except in the late game. I said that she falls off, but once she gets the Eon Disc, she kind of unfalls off because everybody uses everything on her, everything is dispelled, and then she uses the heal again. So it's like she can't be bursted. Her problem is getting bursted, but Eon Disc obviously completely nullifies that. That's the entire purpose of the item.
Tim's trying to bait something over here, but it doesn't look like Yang's going to fall through it.
TNC just holding the enemy triangle. This is such a nice position to hold. You just keep cutting the creeps. You wait on the high ground.
Oh, the jump forward. They're trying to get Paparazzi. The force out. The Abyssal Blade's going to get used, though. Hold him into place as Paparazzi tries to spin himself out, but the back line, Armel finds himself a kill. The BKBs are getting popped. As over on the side, Yang going to force himself up over onto the high ground, and the Yules will get used over on Gabby.
Sieging correctly is this. It's so funny like watching this because this is what used to happen when you were being sieged on. You stand on a high ground, you wait for the enemy team to put themselves out of position. But now sieging is this like high ground versus high ground battle that people do.
Oh, the jump forward. They want to slow down Yang. There's going to be the Aeon Disc though popping off. One Impetus tosses. We got that Lotus Orb on Gabby trying to protect them. So it's kind of a slow siege from the side of TNC, but it's effective.
next time Yang comes up, which I don't think he will because he doesn't want to die, but if
Yeah.
he did come up, he's going to die if they do that again. So that's
Yeah.
nice that they burst through his Eon Disc like that. It makes it so that he can't just keep playing in this way.
This is interesting. Ori's decided he's going to try to go and push out another wave. Does have TP, I'm assuming, to come right back in.
Yeah, definitely the play. You don't want to just sit in your base.
No.
You don't need everybody for defending. It's just a couple heroes.
And the Sand King's not actually with them now on the side of TNC.
Yeah.
That does make things a little
He
bit
also
easier because I
has-
feel like Cuckoo's been making some really nice jumps.
Yeah.
But
It's-
again, you have to watch out for Armel with that Scream talent.
It is interesting seeing that, like having the Sand King be the one with the bots, and then also Sand King being the one that's initiating. It lets you do stuff like this where they don't know that he's here, possibly. They're pinging him.
Well, the jump forward, the Burrow Strike followed up with a big old Ice Blast. He's not going to be able to connect completely. And now on the back end, they're in pretty deep. There's going to be that BKB on Armel, but is it going to be enough? No, they're going to be able to take him out. And they're chasing after him. The Luna Blade's going to get used. They use the RP, and there's so much damage. They'll be able to go pop the Age. They'll get a kill on Cuckoo. And I have a good feeling. Although Tims throws out the Avalanche, hoping to buy Gabby a little bit more time, but they're still on the run here. They use the Witch Doctor ulti, and it doesn't actually work here as they're able to go and get Tims and the Lifestealer out.
So that-
coming through. Do they have it? They've got it. They've got the skewer. The pop back out again, hoping maybe that they can get a little consolation prize, and they will be able to find it there. Followed up with Gabby turning around. He sees DY. He would love to get this kill. Can he do it fast enough to these dashes? Yeah, they'll find the kill onto the Witch Doctor. They're going to give up on Tims. He's a little bit too tanky as they chase Gabby up the stairs, and he's just going around in circles, hoping that he can buy himself enough time. Tims to jump forward again. Has a nice avalanche. Aeon Disc is popped over onto Yang, and they're just doing so much damage out here. Can they take down Gabby? This is not looking great for them right now. A nice dash going to get used here over onto the Enchantress. She's got the Impetus. They need a little bit more damage to take down Gabby, and they don't have it. Tims now trying to hide himself over here. Will push himself down to the low ground, hoping to break some ankles. Nice avalanche buys him a little bit more time, and it looks like he's going to be a survivor.
I'm shocked that didn't turn out worse for TNC. I mean, it all started with the Magnus being dead, but that miscommunication between Tims and Cuckoo, where they both were, they were pinging the backline. They're like, all right, let's go in, let's go for a jump. And they both went at the same time. And what happened is the Sand King went in and burrowed, and then Tims on the Tiny tossed the Sand King out instead of tossing the Enchantress because they were both looking for the jump. And that resulted in all of that chaos that was happening on the mid lane. But I think if you're like looking at that replay in retrospect of either of these two teams, all of the stuff that was happening is just like a fight was starting. So you just had to commit. You know, you either had to commit or not commit or whatever. But the fight is happening, and that's why it happened. It's like that miscommunication. I think that should have gone a lot better for TNC. Ooh. Oh, how did that? What just happened?
Well, there wasn't Ori there.
Can we maybe? I mean, I'm like totally delaying the day by constantly asking for replays. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Oh, the Laguna. They were hoping, but, you know, that's going to be the Abyssal Blade. Couple bashes coming through, and with the Ice Blast, buys a little bit of time. Doesn't matter, though.
So this I think is why Brax and Black were saying that they consider. Well, I don't even know what Black was trying to say, but Brax was saying that this Lina hero just isn't that good when it comes to the late game. She dies to like any two heroes. A lot of mid laners would not die to like a Lifestealer plus Ancient Apparition. You might have some way of getting out of it. You might have some tankiness. But Lina, nope, she has nothing. She's kind of a support.
Would a mobility item help Lina at all here in this particular situation?
I think her armor and her HP is just too low, and she doesn't really build into. She doesn't really have anything that makes her able to survive like a lot of other cores can.
Yeah, she is a bit of a glass cannon.
Like if you go on mobility item, the problem is you still get stun locked.
Dyer's top shrine has fallen.
I think it was Brax. He was saying he played Dota when the Blink Dagger, it didn't get canceled by anything.
Oh my
So
God, that's so broken.
So the meta was just having like constant stun lock, and it's the same thing if you build any sort of mobility item or Yules or BKB on Lina, you're still squishy and die in one stun. You know, it's the same thing as like the Blink Dagger. If you have a lot of stuns, then these heroes, a lot of stuns and bursts, these heroes are pretty weak that are just super squishy.
All right, well,
Dyer's
looks like
bottom shrine is under
that's say, yeah.
attack.
But the announcer beat me to it. They're going after Dire Shrine.
Dyer's bottom shrine has fallen.
Shrines matter so much at this point in the game.
Well, it's part of your Roche control.
Yep, it's all about Roche control.
Not necessarily on the side, but
It's still nice to have it because then when you control this side of the map as Radiant, you're not worried about the backline TPs, or if you're like holding the high ground and you are getting chased away because you take a bad fight, which happens even in high-level Dota. We saw it happen. You engage in a fight, it's not as good as you thought it was. They're not going to get flanked from the back line, which is very nice. They can just get out and cut their losses. Not being able to cut those losses can be super game-losing.
Right. It's a pretty interesting swing now. About 52 minutes in, we've got a 9K lead to the side of TNC, and was not like that before. Nullifier getting picked up on the Lifestealer. So you can see VG Gaming, they're on the hunt. Gonna try to clear out their triangle possibly, see if they can get a quick pick off, open the door. They see Kuku. Oh, they want it. Ori opens up with the Sheep Stick, Laguna Blade, Light Strike Array, and runs them right back into Ori's loving arms.
That's a gem. I hope for TNC's sake that they have a gem off cooldown, because at this point, not having to place tons of sentries and also just... Oh, they have a gem.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Vici got the gem. Like I'm saying, TNC, Cuckoo just lost the gem. So they might have one, though, because I believe they bought that a
everybody has a gem at this point, I believe.
Gem's kind of about the, more about the cooldown rather than the cost. The cost is not. 900 gold at this point in the game is just nothing.
Right.
I mean, I know, I'm a core player, so for me it's nothing. For support players, it's...
For support players, it's like their entire livelihood and their children's inheritance right there. Don't you lose that gem.
Retirement money.
I don't want to have to be a greeter in my old age.
A greeter. Come on, what you got a problem with greeters?
I have no problem with greeters. I feel bad sometimes. Like, some of them choose to do it, right, because they like to be social, and more power to them. But I don't want to be forced to have to go work when I'm an little old Asian lady. I just don't want to.
Specifically greeting. You're no greeting for you. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to dig your grave.
Well, there goes Tim's. Or he found himself a quick pick off. Use that Sheep Stick Laguna.
Was that a solo? That was a solo.
Yeah, it was a solo kill. Perfect.
Yeah. That is not something you expect at this point in the game.
And an
solo
MKB.
Plays.
Picked up now for Lena.
80 seconds. They can make...
Oh, they found themselves an Ancient Apparition. And they have a gem on Yangso. This is not going to save you, AU.
Oh my god, that damage. Oh, Enchantress. What a hero.
Break.
He did go all the damage counts, I believe. Yeah, so he's doing a lot. Have you seen the heal builds where you just go Yandis, Lotus, go for all the heal talents and are effectively immortal? It's pretty funny. You do way less damage though, but it's quite good.
I think it's funny though, then obviously.
I actually think it might be better in a lot of situations. In this game, he seems to want like the persistent kind of pure damage. Against Lifesteal, it's really good. Against all these BKBs, it's really good. Tiny with the armor.
It's going to be the buyback from AU. They know that they're in the pit. It's not going to be in time, though. That is a very, very fast roach. They even throw that BKB out onto Lena just in case that there was someone lurking and pushing them out of the pit.
Worthy tribute.
This is the point in the game where you see these really weird like backpack strats coming out. People have like refreshers in the backpack, refresher shards. Do I put the Yules in my inventory right as a fight starts instead of boots of travel?
Yeah.
It gets crazy.
It's sloppy.
This is where like the younger players are way better at doing it than the older players are just like way too lazy and also old.
Wow, that's ageist of you.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, the jump forward. They find Ori. They've got the nullifier. That's going to be the Aegis. It seems like they're content with that as they'll walk away.
Yeah, that's really rough for... Obviously really rough for Vici.
I think.
But it is just an Aegis. I believe they did pick up like a refresher shard from that. Let's see. So they have a mag refresher, which is obviously excellent.
Fate's been on point with his RPs. Lincoln's gets popped on Armel. Jump forward. Oh, they just narrowly missed, but there it is. There's the first RP coming through. Lots of damage coming out here from Ori and the Witch Doctor, and they'll take down Gabby. They do have buyback on the Lifestealer. I hear Yules. I hear BKB. I see a Cuckoo who is now dead.
That's a play that you can make because you have the refresher on Magnus. Honestly, at this point, it might just be worth it for a pickoff on like the Lifestealers. It's an important enough hero.
If they can force a buyback, I'm sure they'd be very happy.
Oh yeah. Even
And again,
without
you
the
have
refresher.
another RP
Yep.
up and running over on Fate.
So now even with the buyback, they can take this fight here.
Yeah. Look at that tower just melt.
Paparazzi has a refresher organ in his backpack as well.
Oh, all right. Mel needs to be a little bit careful. Another buyback. They want to defend this. There's going to be the forward again. Paparazzi, though, he's got the BKB. He's going to try to just tight off into the circle. Very nice RP coming out again as the sauce is going to get used over onto the Enchantress. Big epicenter burrow strike. Look at that spear. They just go and they erase 3 different heroes. And it looks like they're not even done yet. They're going to try to chase after Yang. Yang, he's got those sprites. He's going to try to TP. He can't get out of this. Great moon to Neptune. He's out of here.
The unfortunate thing that happened there was the RP happened, and it was very nice. It was on the Lifestealer. It was on +1. The Ghost Scepter, I believe, was up on like the Tiny or whoever else it was. But Paparazzi hadn't refreshed his Omni Slash yet. He was planning on doing it. I don't think he expected TNC to commit to a full fight there. He thought that he could siege for a bit and then back off, refresh, and then come back in with the RP and the refreshed Omni Slash, possibly. So I think if he has Omni there, he VG wins that fight and possibly the game.
If they can get a kill on Gabby. Yeah, he's got to be careful.
That was, what, 4 buybacks?
Yes.
3? I'm trying to count. See, what's confusing me is the red with the red background. 3 buybacks.
Yes. Trace.
I need glasses. Arcane on Cuckoo. That's super nice for hitting tons of 2-man / 3-man burrows in the fight. I think it's a good time to fight. No Jug for 18 seconds. If you can force his buyback, it is crippling for VG.
It feels like they're a little shy, though. They don't feel comfortable. They don't see that opening.
Discipline. Good discipline. Cuckoo's going for a heart. Pretty nice item, especially with the Ethereal Blade. Strength obviously benefits the damage that comes from that. And his damage has been significant in these fights, surprisingly. A lot of the time Sand King falls off in terms of his damage in the late game fights. He's more about the burrows. But when you go for this Veil Ethereal Blade build, you can... There's basically no amount of HP that you can get to survive the Sand King +1. Obviously, there's Lincoln Spheres and things like that.
True.
But if you can take a fight well enough and get the damage out there, it's gonna kill almost anybody.
Only about a 3K lead now going to the side of TNC.
I like that Kuko picked up an Eon Disc instead of the heart. Just survive the burst. There's so much burst coming from Vici. They press RP with no refresher. What else is there after that? There's Laguna, which is burst. There's Jug Omni Slash, which is burst with a long cooldown. It's such a good Eon Disc game. Queen of Pain should get one as well. She doesn't already have one.
Armel knows.
She's got a Lincoln's. Nice.
Here an Infest Bomb, the jump forward, they've gone, they found Paparazzi, are they going to be able to get this kill? It looks like they'll find it. The rest of VG Gaming now on the retreat. They're going to force Tim's forward. They're hoping maybe he could grab DUI. Not going to quite do it. That hurts, because he just respawned. Does have the buyback if necessary, but I'm sure they were...
Secures them all the bounties. At this point in the game, 160 gold per hero. Gets you quite the gold lead to get 4 of those. Heart coming out on the Lifestealer. I believe it's on the Courier. Don't usually see that getting picked up too often. But it does amplify the Lifesteal, which is quite nice. From 3 of his abilities will benefit from that. That regen.
Double damage turnover on Gabby. About halfway out now.
This is one of those games where I thought that Vici had the better late game, but when you see Eon Discs come out, you have Sand King with the blind talent, you have Queen of Pain with the 25 talent, things get so weird in Dota. I've heard people recently say that in the late game, like no team really, it's more about matchups, but more team, like it's very hard to determine who actually has the better late game, because there's so many obscure level 25 talents that are just completely overpowered.
Here's the Ag Scepter completed now for Ancient Apparition.
Nice. Could come from Roche though, you know. But he's a pause 5. He knows his place in the game. I'm never gonna get that Roche Ags unless this game goes to 90 minutes. What are the Ags heroes in this game? What are the good Ags?
Witch Doctor, obviously.
Witch Doctor's good. Jug is definitely good.
Lena.
Magnus is kind of awful. Lena's quite good. Pure damage through all of the resistance. Enchantress eggs obviously. Is quite good.
She already has that though.
I think Vici has the better eggs lineup. Unfortunately, yeah, Yang has his own eggs.
They're wrecking
Tim's has his own eggs too. Is that a synthesized egg? No, he bought his own eggs.
He's
Okay.
got his own eggs. Tree Volley's just too good to pass up if you have the gold for it.
Unfortunately, he does not have the Ghost Scepter anymore. That was saving him in a lot of these fights. This Octarine core plus I believe it's the Avalanche cooldown talent. Did he go for that?
Yeah.
It makes it so that this is like a 2-second stun with like a 1 second downtime, something like that. It's completely ridiculous. You need a BKB against it.
Right, Roche is
Shout out to Gunnar. He showed me that one.
nice.
He's like, dude, this is so good. It is. I should do that voice because it is really good.
I didn't think that was a bad voice.
You didn't? I appreciate that.
Yeah, no.
I think Gunnar
I mean,
would appreciate that
did
too.
you hear Sunspin's hippo impersonation
Oh, that was
earlier?
that was the best thing I've ever
Turned
seen.
into an EastEnder in London, like circa 1700.
Yeah, I think Gareth was quite offended by that, actually.
Good. All right, Faye doing a bit of scouting here. And it looks like TNC on the offensive over on the high ground. Ooh, that's pretty scary right now. Armel trying to run himself back. Will pop the link as the BKB's going to get used. Fade, he's on the low ground, waiting patiently, hoping maybe he can find that opening. But again, will run directly into this Queen of Pain. And they just decide they want to back off.
Both teams playing extremely disciplined because one single fight without buyback, which quite a few people don't have it, can mean the game. Nice for Yang to get the creep wave there. He even cut the creeps with his Centaur. Keeping this mid lane in is incredibly important at this point because if it's out, you just have the information that the enemy team is making a play. So it is imperative that somebody... It's these little plays in Dota that allow for the big plays to be made. The big plays like cutting your teammates' trees and showing them all in the mid lane.
Oh, I felt bad. Speaking of cutting down trees, I was playing Io at one point with a Monkey King, and I forgot that I would break his tree with the tether. Yeah, that was not my best moment. Ice Blast gonna get thrown in. Are they trying to bait a fight? Is my question. Although, looks like they did find. They found Armel over there. They still have that invis on Fade. Or rather, his. Well, it is invis, but it's Lothar's. Go back into the pit, Kuku. See Tim's on the outside, waiting patiently. Look at the sandstorm, it's massive. Oh, the jump forward though, they're gonna start with the initiation. They'll turn around, Gabby goes, gets a couple dashes. There's gonna be a big scream being thrown out as Pat's nullifier takes down Fade, and they'll take down DY. There's a Laguna though coming out, they've got the Hex. Can they finish it off? Yeah, they'll be able to take down Gabby. Gabby does not have buyback, as now looks like the rest of VG Gaming are gonna try to run back, but there's gonna be jump forward again. They've got a refresher. Tim's over on the back end, but it looks like they're gonna be able to take down Cuckoo. It doesn't do enough, as now Tim's light strike array. They've got the damage. That's a double kill for Yang.
Nice retreat to the high ground there. That made that fight a lot easier for VG to execute. And TNC, because they had gotten a couple of key pickoffs on the Magnus, and honestly the Witch Doctor at this point is pretty important. Just any hero that has no buyback. He's a cheese, he's got saving items, so they really wanted to commit to that, but they had to commit onto a high ground, which allowed the Enchantress to sit there and do 10,000 damage. But she melted everybody in that fight. Jug also refreshed, and he wasn't even able to use his Omni Slash. So that could have gone a lot worse if he had a little bit more mana to work with.
It looks like the Lifestealer does have the buyback now over time, and they want to kind of finish up this Roche. Should be able to do it. There's going to be the buyback. There is an accent this time, as well as a refresh shard. Tim's buys back.
I think
buyback comes out from the Witch Doctor, too. They don't want to give this up. These tree volleys are just not hitting anything. Roshan's just going to walk inside and find themselves a pile of logs.
I think VG can just go Roche. So the AA is alive. I'm not sure, did he blast already? Or he's just getting vision. It's hard with the chip, but it's just to force the TNC buybacks.
Everyone's buying back. It's a very low Roshan now.
I do believe TNC might be able to get this, though, because the Magnus is 20 seconds and there's no buyback. This is a gem sitting right on the ground.
Gems everywhere. I'm going to go into the pit. Yeah, they want to go in. Paparazzi spinning in, wants to see how far, how low this is. We'll get that bash off. Good to go. Throw out a lot of damage. And just going to pop, but they'll be able to take down Paparazzi. He immediately buys back, or he's sitting on the back lines. He's just trying to chip away, but they do manage to go. Get that Roche.
There's so many things on the ground.
That refresher. They've got the Synth went on to, who grabbed
Sand
it?
King.
Sand King. Okay, perfect.
I think maybe they would possibly want it on somebody else. I mean, let's see. Tiny already has one. Queen of Pain. Yeah, I think Queen of Pain's probably better than Sand King, but there's so much chaos going on. He just
I think
grabbed
he just picked it up. Everything just.
He grabbed as much as he could. I think he might have even picked up a couple things off the ground that were junk items.
Drop your stick.
Yeah. God.
And TNC. Don't count them out just yet.
They've been making very good use of these infest bombs this game.
Kuko's had really good positioning throughout this entire time.
Target priority too, very nice. Whoever they're going on, they're good at blowing them up and prioritizing the right targets, using like chaining their spells.
Scanning for enemies.
All right, Kuku on the low ground. They say we're gonna back off.
That's a pretty nice rune to deny right in front of Vichi's face. If Jug gets that, it is lights out. He does have the refresher too. It's not up though because it's sitting in his backpack.
He's got oh boy.
Look at his. Those are not 5 items in boots. He has 6 big items plus a refresher. And then the casual boots that he's never going to use again. It used to be the later and later a game got, the faster heroes would get. Not with backpack.
I remember when people had their own personal couriers and
back
when BKBs, you could sell them. All right, that's a Laguna on the back line. Are they going to be able to get this pick off? Yeah, that's going to be the end of our Mel. Does have buyback, but a quick pick for the side of Vici Gaming.
Not the worst hero to have die, honestly.
True. Could be worse. Oh, Tim's take a decent amount of damage. There's going to be the jump forward. Fade looking for that RP. He finds it. He's going to be able to go sidestep the Ice Blast. The DY takes a bit of damage here. We'll turn back around. Lena throwing out some harass. Going to be able to push back and save him for a little bit longer. Gabby, look at the damage just pouring out from this Enchantress. He's going to have to go hitch a ride here with Kuku as he's got the Andis. They've got that nullifier, and now it looks like Tim's trying to find some more over here onto the back line. The 4 staff's going to come out. They have the Hex over onto Paparazzi, still alive. Ori buying back. Wants to try to just push them away from their core.
If Yang can get his Monkey King bar, he's going to be such a threat in these fights. He hit about 5 hits, and he missed like 4 of them because of the blind from Sand King, because of the Radiance, because of the evasion coming from the Lifestealer, like the natural evasion he gets from the talent. That Monkey King bar is incredibly high value. It's going to almost double his damage. Oh, he doesn't have the Radiance in that backpack. It's in the backpack. But the Sand King blind, honestly, is enough of a reason to get the Radiance or to get the MKB most of the time.
Definitely feels like Enchantress is just dishing out so much of this damage here.
I love this tiny Ags. It's so nice for pushing out lanes like that. So you can be so far away. Doesn't matter how much HP the creeps get. You can have Megas against you, and you'll kill the whole wave. Not that you want to be playing against Megas. Oh, yeah, I'm going to play Tiny and wait until Megas and get the Ags. It's going to be legit.
Does AU stay alive long enough to use that sheep stick? Because don't you? It's more value for him to be further back, right?
I think he can chain. He can chain like at the start of a fight, and it's going to be good. I mean, he'll die instantly afterwards, but you know, does AA have a cast range, Talon? I'm not a big AA player. I'm not. No, he doesn't. Okay. But yeah, he can chain it. I mean, once he pops all of his abilities, what is he? What does he really do? He's a position 5. Maybe save somebody with a 4 staff, then.
He's got a Glimmer Cape too. The Glimmer Cape has come in handy a couple times.
The Glimmers late game are actually so legit because people don't have detection, especially if they lose a late game gem.
And they just don't have room in their inventory.
Nobody has slots. Who's going to carry dust? funny that a 2,000 gold item has such value the later the game goes. Good item. Not enough people build it. Not in this game though. Everybody's building it. These are top tier players. People in pubs is who I'm referring to.
Right.
That is a huge set.
That is a very large set.
What is his battle pass level? Can we see that?
Nope. That's
Good
pretty big.
lord. Oh my god, look at these players.
Pretty big compendium.
I mean, they are all TI players. They can afford it.
This is like a little bit of a stalemate. We're seeing a 15K net worth lead going over to the side of TNC now. We are at 72 minutes, by the way. What a wild and crazy ride we've had so far.
You know, I would have guessed that this is a like selected match for us to watch, but this is just TI, right? We're just casting every game that happened in TI. This is just how it is. People are just trying so hard that the games are just unreal.
Another life stealer bomb in Cuckoo over on the side, hoping that maybe someone will come up these steps, but it's like VG Gaming, they're playing it cool.
It's at the
Tim's is
point.
gonna hang out over here.
Checking the high ground with the tiny eggs. He has an AAS on the team. Yang has his Demon Edge. He might not have buyback if he buys it. So that's probably what he's waiting for. Yeah, he needs a few hundred more. That'll be big in these fights. Because he went the damage build. He's honestly doing almost the most damage on his team. The Omni has not really... The Omni Slash and the Magnus Empower have not really been paying dividends in these fights at all. It seems to be all Yang doing the damage. And Ori with the Monkey King bar.
Aww. Sad ogre.
Look how slow Yang is without the boots. Doesn't want to consume the Moon Shard, which is reasonable. I mean, if they're holding high ground like this,
No reason.
they know where they're going to take a fight anyway. I mean, generally speaking, you're going to be holding some high ground and know you're going to take a fight there.
He's got the Hurricane Pike too, so he just has some mobility.
True, yeah. And
If
he's
necessary.
naturally a pretty fast hero as well.
Yeah.
That is the most satisfying noise with the sword.
I
From
don't
the-
like it. It sounds like an ion cannon. I know. Oh, Yang immediately gonna get jumped on over here. And Dixie goes right back over. Got a life stealer bomb. Timsy stuck over in the trees. There's a lot of people here. Goes up to saving him. No, it doesn't matter. Ori's gonna be able to take him down. And there's so much damage being thrown out here by Yang, but they're gonna be able to take down Fade. They find Deep Wide. The buybacks are coming out almost immediately. As now Gabby, slowly but surely, gonna be able to go take down that Aeon, but they'll get the kill anyways. Yang is gonna get taken down here, and they'll be able to take down Gabby. There's a beat spin coming out from Paparazzi. He wants this. He wants to finish up. Buyback coming out from the Lifestealer. Nice RP coming through here from Fade. And they're going to be able to take down Tims. They're going to be able to take down Armel? No, he's still alive.
I don't know. This fight has been crazy.
Trying to follow everything that's happening. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff on the screen there, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Oh, finally we see the Juggernaut get off the second Omni Slash. I don't know if somebody gave him mana or what happened, but that refresher mana costs a lot of mana. These Agi carries, they just can't handle it. I mean, he's even got the Scotty, but I think he hit a couple of times. I finally have the mana.
Find themselves a friend over here.
He has a BKB and heal.
He's going to use this, but
Yeah,
yeah,
he
he is
is.
forced to use the BKB. Armel, he jumps up. There's a lot of people there, though, Armel. Need to be a little careful, though. They're going to go for another Infest Bomb, Armel. Still trying to chase you. There are 4 heroes. It might be a little... Oh, look at the long distance on that Burrow Strike. There's a bit of silence, the fear from the scream. The BKB is going to come out. Paparazzi is trying to run himself away. Yang is trying to get himself out, too. He's going to get slowed down. He's going to get bashed up. Gabby finds himself a kill. There's no buyback now on this Enchantress. They'll find a kill onto Fate. He also bought back. Paparazzi is going to be the next one to go down. He does have the buyback because the Magnus, the Enchantress, and the Lina, none of them have buyback. But that's definitely going to be a tower. And Rex, they're going for tier 4s. They want to finish this up. Cuckoo going for that Burrow Strike, trying to just push these illusions back. Could be the fortification getting used from the side of Vici, but it's still going to be a little bit of time before we see that Lina coming up.
How do you two-man defend this into this sandstorm?
I don't
3
know.
cores.
The GG gets called. TNC.
Yeah.
They take game number 1.
Whoever called to blink up to that high ground and continue chasing the Enchantress off of that off of the bounty rune fight, that was an amazing call. That was such a good call, and literally just rush down mid and take the throne.
It worked.
Yeah, that was nice.
It worked. They really held VG Gaming on the ropes for quite a while there until they could finally deliver that killing blow. But Cuckoo, you know, I thought Cuckoo did an amazing job with a lot of those initiations. What do you think?
That was definitely Cuckoo. That was definitely Gabby. That was a nice play from Gabby.
Yeah.